Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, March 4th. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Glad to have you with us tonight. Well, the man accused of producing child pornography on school grounds makes his first court appearance today.
CTV Sonia Srivastava just got back from Greenbelt where the hearing was held. Sonia, tell us what happened.
You know, Rochelle and Patty, it was a packed house. There was lots of media. There were even some family members that were there who got emotional at times. Now, 22-year-old Deonte Caraway appeared before a federal judge in Greenbelt wearing an orange jumpsuit and that signature blonde streak in his hair that we've seen. Now, Caraway, a former Prince George's County school aide, pleaded not guilty to all 13 counts of federal charges of sexual exploitation of a minor. Now, this is involving 11 victims. He also asked the judge for a jury trial. Now, according to court documents, Caraway allegedly made videos of children having sex with him and each other at Judge Sylvania Woods Elementary in Glen Arden. Now, so far, police have identified 17 victims in the case, and according to prosecutors, Caraway also took a child out of a classroom to a dressing room at the school and instructed them to take off their clothes, which the child resisted. Now, we should mention that a woman who did not want to identify herself did speak to the media off camera, and she said that she was the mother of one of the victims and just glad that Caraway was behind bars and not hurting babies anymore. And those were paraphrasing her words there. And, you know, we should tell you that this case is drawing a lot of attention. And again, prosecutors are saying that be patient. There could be more charges. You know, like I said, they have identified 17 victims, but the case we're talking about today is only talking about 11 of them. So what that means is either they are in the process of making or getting more charges, or that not all of those victims will make it to the federal level.
And you had mentioned this is the federal level. There's still some state charges pending?
Yes. So Prince George's County State's Attorney Angela Alser-Brooks has filed her own case, and that will certainly be coming up soon also. And we should say that even if he was just convicted on the federal charges, he could spend more than 100 years in prison.
All right. Thank you, Sonia.
All right, Patty. Thank you.
Well, some lawmakers in Annapolis are looking to expand Maryland's prevailing wage law. The bill is before the House Economic Matters Committee and would cover contracts with state and local government. It would increase the number of projects that are covered under the law by lowering the eligibility requirements. Currently, contracts must exceed $500,000 in order for workers to qualify. This bill lowers the threshold to $25,000.
It's important for Maryland workers. It will bring jobs to Maryland. And the reason I say that is because individuals, contractors come from Delaware, Virginia, West Virginia. They pay the lower wages when they get here. People don't spend money that work here. They come from those different states. They take the money back out of Maryland. And this will create jobs because our contractors, all contractors, will be able to compete.
Now, a prevailing wage is defined as the hourly dollar amount normally paid to the majority of workers.
With minimum wage rates increasing in Prince George's each year, disability service providers are asking for help to keep up. At a hearing this morning in Annapolis, local organizations spoke in favor of House Bill 1200. If passed, the measure would require local governments to provide supplemental funding to nonprofits. Advocates say that if the bill doesn't pass, many nonprofits will not have the resources needed to stay open.
Approved a higher minimum wage rate than the state level. And since providers in the county are compensated at a state level, it creates an imbalance. And so simply, we've asked our legislators to consider an approach to really make nonprofit providers in the county whole through HB 1200.
We've experienced high levels of turnover over the past few years. I think our turnover last year was about 40%, so it's already very difficult to recruit and retain qualified staff for these positions.
Each year, there are over 100 students who leave the Prince George's County school system with an intellectual and developmental disability that need services, and they probably will not be able to be brought into services because of the lack of qualified staff.
And right now, the minimum wage is $9.55 in Prince George's. By October, it will be up to $11.50 per hour. Well, create a land bank for foreclosed properties. That's the slogan and the legislative brainchild of Maryland Delegate Angela Angel. Under her measure, financial institutions can place foreclosed houses in a special land bank. The houses could then be purchased at reduced prices by organizations and individuals.
It's been done in Baltimore City, and there's legislation to allow municipalities to do it. Currently, counties cannot do it. And what a land bank basically is an entity where banks would be able to donate houses that they no longer can sell or use. And then they would be able to donate them, and the land bank could then disseminate that to private investors, nonprofits, and even individuals.
Right now, there are 3,600 vacant properties in the county.
A bill that would require ignition locks on the vehicles of convicted drunk drivers receives preliminary approval. The House Judiciary Committee gave the green light to the measure yesterday. Ignition lock legislation has stalled in committee for years. However, the recent death of police officer Noah Liotta has spurred action. The bill now goes to the full House. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Patricia Valone.